Their message just keeps getting louder, and this time it wasn't just school children striking for the climate. An estimated 170,000 people took part, shutting down main streets across the country.
In Auckland, they blocked Queen Street and access to the city's port. In Wellington, they turned out at Parliament in numbers not seen since the foreshore and seabed protests.
And their message was heard all over the world, thanks to Greta Thunberg. Alice Wilkins reports.
If you thought these students were finished with their climate change strike action, think again. Today they filled up streets across the country, tens of thousands taking part in a third strike, and by far the biggest yet. The strike organisers say they're just getting started.
This isn't going away till we see action. That's the reality of it.
In Auckland, they focused on rising sea levels, some wearing life jackets.
If we don't take climate action now, the sea levels will be rising and they're going to be covering up to this area. Even
carrying an inflatable raft and forming a line along Auckland's Quay Street, which they say will one day be underwater. Their human chain then blocked the entrance to Auckland's port.
How are you feeling about it all?
Frustrated.
Stopping drivers in their tracks.
Oh, well, go the students, good calls.
It's become a familiar sight. Thousands of school students marching down Queen Street in the name of climate action. But today there are noticeably more adults joining them in their protest.
It's all about their future and their children's future.
I've come out today because I'm very embarrassed that my generation has got the world to where we're at today.
Because this is my grandchildren's future and I really care about it and they do too.
More than 40 strike events took place across the country today. Organisers say as many as 40,000 people marched down Lambton Quay in Wellington. The massive crowd descending on Parliament's forecourt. In Blenheim, New Plymouth and Christchurch, the passionate message was just as clear. The students are asking the government to meet their demands, including declaring a climate change emergency, passing the Zero Carbon Act and ending all fossil fuel exploration.
I honestly believe this, that we will have done more in this term of Parliament than the previous 30 years of governments combined.
And they say today's show of numbers is another step in reaching their goals.
I think the pressure is building up and up and up each time.
It's not only the pressure, but their passion is building to keep this movement going. Alice Wilkins, Newshub.
Well, Alice joins us now, and Greta Thunberg has been watching today's action closely, Alice.
Yes, she has, Tom. Just hours ago, this street was packed with school students protesting, and Greta Thunberg noticed. She retweeted around 20 posts on her Twitter from New Zealand climate strikes from places like Auckland, Wellington and Dunedin, but also photos and video from places like Thames, Hamilton and Tauranga. Now, this is, of course, part of a huge global movement, and we've seen massive strikes and protests around the world in the past few weeks. With such a huge turnout here today, this certainly won't be the last one that we see in New Zealand.
Alice, thank you.